Divine Oracle Podcast. Let's talk about haunted locations. Are they really haunted, or is it just a fiction? Let's see what happens with your co-hosts, Gypsy Lady Eva and Brother Chris.
And good day. Yes, we're starting actually just a couple seconds early, and hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. I know Gypsy Lady Evo, right where you are right now. It's a
Hello,
high.
Gypsy. This is Gypsy Lady chiming in.
It's a very beautiful day over there.
Yes, it is. The skies are pretty clear. There's a few poofy clouds floating around. There's a nice breeze. And where I'm sitting, I can look out on the cornfield, and the cornfield is ready to harvest. Which means the ghosts aren't going to come and go like they have been.
So true. How about that Sasquatch?
He's over in the woods, so that's quite a ways away, so we don't get to see him too much.
Yeah, you're actually warmer than what we are right where I am. I'm pretty much close to Toronto, just an hour west of Toronto, and you're 2 degrees warmer than what we are.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you know why?
Probably from all the hot air around us.
That too. I never thought of that one.
That's like God.
No, the first thing that went through mine is, well, you're in Canada. Canada is north of us.
Yes, but geographic, we're not.
No, you're not.
No.
Parts of you aren't.
Yes. Yeah, we're more south than what Eva is. Pretty much on the ley line if you take the states going straight across. Again, though, so I'm close to Toronto, and we're actually a little bit cooler, which is very unusual, but it could be because the Great Lakes are actually all around us compared to right where you are. You're actually off of pretty much a one Great Lake area. Yeah. So.
Well, I don't know. Is Lake St. Clair considered a Great Lake?
Not really, no.
Okay.
So, but yes.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to do some change up today. We're going to actually discuss cards. We're going to do some reading to start off with, and then we'll do a little bit of discussion about the cards, and then we're going to go to quick commercial, and then we'll come back. A lot of you guys have been waiting for this here. We're going to be talking about the city of Cobourg, Ontario, which is roughly 2 hours west of Toronto. From Detroit, though, is 3 hours. Not 3 hours. Sorry, it's 5 hours away from Detroit, Michigan, and Windsor. It's a beautiful location. They shoot most of Murdoch Mystery. If you guys have not seen that, check it out. He's on YouTube. It's a series. They do most of it actually with inside of that area instead of right where we used to live here at Divine Oracle Podcast. Yeah. So we're going to start with readings today, and I'm going to be changing my cards up. I'm actually going to be using Denise Lynn's Oracle cards, and Gypsy Lady Eva, she's got her cards. I don't know if they're ready.
They are.
All right. Wonderful. Yeah. So go right ahead.
Well, first of all, I do the 3-card draw, and then I do a 4th card from the deck.
Yes.
Drawn from the deck, not just a flip up. The numbers are 3, 5, 7, 9. The odd numbers of the deck, except for the ace. And I find that fascinating that it would draw it that way, because I'm trying to remember what the odd numbers are when you have that consistently. I don't know if I just don't remember, and I apologize. But what's even more fascinating is the first card drawn was the 9 of Cups. The last card turned up is the 3 of Cups. So it's encompassing almost the entire number range there. And I find that even more fascinating because the 9 of Cups shows a jolly man feasting. The 3 of Cups show 3 women feasting, saluting whatever it is, or, how can I just, Boy, I'm not thinking today. I apologize. I was up very late last night. It shows 3 women toasting with these cups, and it's like the old guard is gone. There's a new guard coming in, and it's going to have more regard for women. The other 2 cards are the 5 of Pentacles, or coins, and the 7 of Wands. And I think it is interesting because the 5 of coins shows a couple in the snow, cold, struggling, and basically it's all they have to do is look up into the to the sky, so to speak, and they will see the beautiful, beautiful stained glass window. The 7 of Rods is also quite interesting because you see a man defending himself from the general, or well, in the deck that I'm using, it looks like there's a horde coming in ready to attack, and he's defending. In the normal deck, or the rider deck, he is just fighting off all these other people. Although you don't see it all, you see are the rods or the coins, the wands. Boy, I am really out of it. And looking at this card and these cards, just the way they are laid out, it's almost like, yeah, I think, because I asked for just a general reading of what's happening, because there's so many things happening in the news.
So true, especially with the states right now. So,
but it's almost like, I don't want to say that, I hesitate to say this, but Trump and his Republicans are on their way out. They're going to be tossed out into the snow, so to speak. And the Democrats are going to be able to stand up against them. I think they're going to, from the cards, it's almost like they're saying the Democrats, as I interpret it, that they are going to have to defend their position constantly because the Republicans are going to try and get in. But the last card, the outcome card, is the 3 of Cups with the 3 women toasting, and it's almost like all these things with the abortion, with the women's health in general, are all going to be resolved because of the new party or the new group that comes in, and they're going to change all the laws again in favor of the women.
Awesome.
And I heard an interesting one spin on it. This young lady, I would say in her mid-20s, was saying, no, she's against the abortion ban, and you know, the whole thing with the woman's health. And she says, you know, if you look at it, the women use their body to carry the baby.
Yeah.
Women use their bodies to bring life into the world.
Yeah.
Women use their body to nurture the baby when they're nursing it. And I can't remember, there were 4 things that she listed. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of neat. She says, and how much input does the man have on this? About 5 seconds. That's it. When are the men going to step up and accept the responsibility for their part in this?
Yeah. And it's
now, this is a young lady, and I'm going, you go, girl.
Yeah, and it's so true though. There's much because if you guys were watching, actually, like listening to the last episode, I indicated though that I did take a part of the sweat lodge. The sweat lodge is sort of like a woman's womb.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually in there right when you come out at the end. You're coming actually into renewal. So the sweat lodge is like a woman's womb. And that's right where we always start from, is the woman's womb.
Mm-hmm.
So the woman is actually the higher superior, not male. So it's like gosh. So
Well, if you look at any of the old pagan, I hate to use that, earth sciences, earth religions,
yes,
the main thrust of it is the woman.
yeah,
She's the one who brings it, and she is also the keeper of knowledge, because men go to war, women don't.
yes, yeah. The woman is actually stays back, make sure everything is actually taken care of. That's why the woman actually sends the male, because the higher domination is actually the woman.
Yes.
So it's like so
Yeah.
yeah.
That Trump and put in your pipe and
It's
smoke
like
it.
so yeah. So I've actually got Denise Lynn's cards again. Those I did 4. The first one though is actually ancestors. What we need to do though is basically look actually out of all of our ancestors and see right where they've actually gone right and right where they've gone wrong. Because though our ancestors have actually taught us a lot of knowledge, though that we still apply even to date. Some things need to be rewritten. Some things need to be not rewritten, and some of them though we actually have to still follow within our ancestors' way. So that's the first card, which is ancestors. The second card is white buffalo, and it's funny though. The reason why is because Gypsy Lady Eva was actually talking about actually Trump being thrown out and her getting actually a card to do with the snow and all that. This one here shows like a white buffalo in the snow area. That's why it's called white buffalo. The white buffalo, the coats though for us indigenous though, the fur and the skin is what we mostly use during the winter times to keep us warm. But the thing though is with the states though, with Trump and also with Tim, things are not going their way. Tim has actually just publicly announced they'll let this week they'll let he does make up the stories. And
Tim,
yeah,
I missed that
yeah. So
one.
he's actually indicated though he's made up all the stories that's actually out there to do with. So yeah, he's one though that's caused all the trouble. So he will not be. So him and Trump will not actually have any warmth during this
Oh,
coming
okay.
year.
That North Carolina lieutenant governor,
Yeah.
not Tim Walz, the VP.
No.
Nomination.
Not Mike.
Don't scare me like
Not
that.
Mike. Not Mike. No. So basically, though, is yeah, with the White Buffalo, they will not have any support for them once everything does come more true and the election does come to show everybody of what's going actually on. A lot of people are starting to wake up, which is awesome, and stop those lies. The last one, though, will be actually Spirit Keeper of the South. Now, right when we look at the medicine wheel, the South, though, deals with water. Water, though, we always need. We always need to grow from the water. The water, though, is something though, that we always rate. To talk about the women's womb, which is what Gypsy Lady Eva was talking about. The woman's womb though, always has water within inside of it. The water, though, is very important for us. The next thing, though, is actually spiritual soul. So, spirit keepers of the self, though, it's basically the spiritual keeper of the soul. It's going to let actually everything come through. So once we get actually rid of this toxin that's dealing with around us, we're going to be able to move forward, and we're going to be reborn again, especially with that purification of the water. The last one, though, is Scatter Mountain. Right now, those right of what I can see, those parts of the states are still scattered. They're not too sure exactly of right where they stand. Some people say, "Yeah, well, I don't stand for Trump, but I stand for his party," and they're switching over to Kamala Harris side. Some people are still undecided, but with Scatter Mountain though, is right once they get everything together, everything is going to be coming actually as one. They're going to stand strong and be able to build the nation as one, not as two or three, which is what Trump wants to do. So yeah. Okay, so we'll be right back after this quick commercial break, and we'll get into today's topic, which is to do with the Cobourg former jail, which is now standing actually as the King George Inn. We'll be right back. We're now posting on Podbean underneath Divine Oracle Podcast. Check out all of our shows underneath this free app that allows you also to call in right when we're live. That's Podbean with Divine Oracle Podcast.
Listen to Haunting Live on Podbean, where your host Trevor and Brother Chris from Divine Oracle Podcast sit down weekly and discuss about topics within the paranormal. This is a live call-in show that we encourage you to take part.
Okay, so yes, that's our quick commercial break. But Gypsy Lady was saying though, as well, we were on a commercial break though, that she has a little thing to throw actually in. So I'll let you throw that in.
Oh, it's nothing great or serious, but you talked about the white buffalo.
Yeah.
I saw it. It was born in Wisconsin.
Yes.
In the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
I do not know what happened to the buffalo. I know when we were there were several Indigenous representatives.
Elders.
And, pardon?
They're called the elders.
The elders, okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And they were blessing this animal as well it should be. But it was just kind of interesting because it would come up to the fence where there were 3 of us. And we were sitting all together, and it would come up to the fence and, like stick its head out because it was a little calf. It wasn't a big one. And then it would run back to the herd and go bouncing around like little calves do. It'd come back to the fence and it'd look at us and it would sniff, 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 sniff. And it would be, it was awe-inspiring. I just truly loved it. Truly loved it.
So good.
And what's interesting, even more interesting, is this is a fun one. While we were there, they brought, not far away from where it was being, the animal was, there was a processing plant, and they were doing corn that particular time. So they brought all the corn stalks and the corn husks and the stuff that's not used in the production of canned corn. And they started dumping it into the field. Well, the scout of the herd saw it, let out a bellow, and the next thing you know, you hear this kind of little rumble, and it gets getting louder, and then you can feel it through your, and as the herd got closer, I mean, this is what our forefathers saw when they went out into the plains.
Yeah.
Saw them.
Yeah.
So that was my experience.
Yeah.
With the white buffalo.
All right. Well, I do say thank you very much. Right. And yeah.
Okay.
So there, our audience loves that. So we do say thank you very much for sharing that. And yes, we're gonna get actually on today's topic, which is to do with the Cobourg Jail. Now, this jail, again, though, what I was saying at the beginning, though, is roughly 2 hours away from Toronto. From Detroit, Windsor area, it's 5 hours away. Beautiful location. I've actually stayed there a couple times. I've done workshops at this location. And we've actually helped out people from England with their workshops at this location. That there, as in which is actually the host of Haunting Live podcast. He's actually been with me while we've done the stuff. And so we're going to talk about some of the history. We're going to talk about some of the hauntings that go on. I know majority of the hauntings. So if Gypsy Lady Eva wants to know about some of the hauntings, she can actually ask me. But yes, so this location was once the largest jail in Ontario. That was before Kingston Pen opened. There was areas for men, there was areas for women, all together. But nowadays, it's a hotel. So the original bars are actually in most majority of the rooms, and so are the spirits that are haunting the locations. I've actually sent some footnotes over to Gypsy Lady Eva. I don't know if she wants to read some of it.
That's a little bit to read. It was named for named. Had another name at the beginning, but it was renamed in recognition of the marriage of Princess Charlotte Augusta
Yes.
of Wales to Prince Leopold of Saxon-Cobourg. I'm not even going to attempt to say it. Which was in the Belgium region, and he would later become the King of Belgium. So that's where the name came from. And it became a regional center due to the harbor on Lake Ontario. Yeah. This was in the 1830s. In 1835, the Upper Canada Academy was established in the city, and it was established by Egerton Ryerson and the Conference of Bishops, Wesleyan Conference of Bishops. And it was incorporated as a town in 1837, and in 1841, the Upper Canada Academy was later changed to Victoria College, and it was granted in 1842 the powers to confer degrees. And the city remained, the college, remained in Cobourg until 1892 when it was moved to Toronto.
Yeah.
And in 1842, again, John Strachan founded the Diocese Theological Institution Cobourg, which was an Anglican cemetery. And it later became integrated into the University of Trinity College in 1852. Your turn.
Yeah. So basically, though, this location does have a lot of great rich history within the city. Again, though, it is off of Lake Ontario. Now, the thing, though, is this inn, which I'm going to call inn now because it is standing actually as an inn, like a hotel. At the time, though, it was right when it was the jail. Again, though, it was the largest jail. The way I was saying, those bigger than Kingston. It did house actually men, women, and children inside of this location. Now, basically, though, is what it says, though, is basically, though, is 60 miles east of Toronto, south, actually, of 401, which runs to Kingston and Montreal area. Now, the thing, though, is with this location, though, again, it was once a jail. And it became a jail actually in 1906 on 77 Albert Street in Cobourg, Ontario. The jail actually did, again, they'll hold actually men and women. There has been some great deaths actually inside of this location and some great activity altogether. Some of the claims that actually have happened with inside this jail, even to date, though, some people have been actually taken over. Claims, though, actually of this property, though, that deal with the inside and also outside. On the inside, though, people have actually been hung. On the outside, those men were in the one location in the backyard, and there was always fighting whenever it was break time. Some people were actually murdered on the property. And what Gypsy Lady Eva turned around and said is so that the jail was actually taken to, sorry, not jail, but the people were taken to the cemetery, and they were buried in the cemetery. Now, there are two cemeteries within Cobourg, but the one cemetery, if you're coming off the main area, coming from Toronto, you will pass the cemetery area, which will be on the left-hand side, is right where most of the inmates were. I'm just going to pass this over to Gypsy Lady Eva. Now, the Gypsy Lady Eva, the second email I sent to you, on the second page is right where the footnotes are.
Okay.
Yeah.
The jail itself?
Yeah.
Well, it was held as a jail until 1998, when it was closed, and the year after it was purchased by private buyers, and they converted it into a tourist attraction and called it the King George Inn. Doesn't that sound so? The King George Inn.
It sounds so royal and is royal inside.
But it remained intact, which is kind of neat. So you can go visit it with tours, or you can stay there.
Yes.
In the restaurant, there was also a family restaurant for guests and non-guests of the hotel, which is kind of cool. And I just, when I read that, I thought, I wonder if they have the meals set up like they would if it was still the jail.
No, unfortunately not. No, they don't have that there. But the thing though is sort of actually off the main dining hall. Whenever you go into the washrooms still have the original bars.
Oh my goodness!
Since I am a two-spirit person, I have been in the male's washroom area, and yeah, it feels like they'll let you in literally a jail because of all the bar cells. I have not been in the women's because I'm not a lady. But what I've heard, the women's is like that, so I'm going to pass it back over to you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the big draw, I guess you could say, is the fact that it has plenty of paranormal activity.
Yeah.
And the rooms are large enough that you can have more than just you and your friend. You can have a whole bunch of friends.
Yes.
You can stay overnight in a real jail, and the hotel offers I guess it would be kind of a game thing, a unique experience. And you can stay overnight, like I said, and play a game, the game. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And I think it says it's got 20 plus country inn hotel. I'm taking that as 20 rooms or more.
Yeah, 20 rooms, yes.
And they still keep kind of the decor, but it's been updated, and some of the rooms are decorated as regular hotel rooms. Others keep the jail theme.
Yeah.
And it's called the Jail Hotel or Jail Escape Hotel. And they, for those who are interested, they do have a Halloween lockdown, which I guess is pretty good. And it's only limited to 18 rooms for this event. So, but most of the rooms do accommodate like 3 to 4 people, so you can stay with the friends. And if you get scared, you have somebody you can hang on to. And to make it more authentic, a ghost haunting event is conducted by the ghost hunters, and they will give you a 4-course dinner, and they call it your last meal.
Yes. We've done that. That's what we helped kick off for this location, was actually that there. And what we used to do at this location, though, is invite you guys actually in for dinner. So we would eat downstairs in the basement, right where the inmates used to eat. We used to play little videos of what we filmed at this location. And then we would take you guys into certain locations throughout the building, away from the main dining hall. And then we would come back to the main hall that we originally ate in. We would split up into different groups. But don't worry, you guys were able to switch around. So instead of staying in one solid group throughout the whole night and not experience the other stuff, you were actually given so many hours and then switched to 4 different groups. Now, the one group, though, did stay with me, downstairs underneath our last time there. We did automatic writing. I got you guys to learn exactly how to do automatic writing and pretend though that you guys were actually in a different area throughout the jail though that you saw, and see what you guys experienced with inside that. There was the area right where the nursery was. That there was had the spirits of the young children. One other location that you were taken to was the attic. Now the attic though was very very creepy. If you guys follow the link though, that is for um, the whole video of right when we were there. It was listed underneath today's title. Take a look at that. But yes, another location was right where Trevor and we did stay, and it was the women's ward. Now the women's ward, really beautiful room. Like when Gypsy lady turned around and said it was huge. Only thing though is with the washroom was wide open. It had the original bar cells. So what we decided to do though is actually put stuff around so the way the washroom could be a little bit separated instead of it being open to right where we slept.
No.
So, yes. But yes, there was a lot of great stuff all together with this. Then what we did though is at the end of the night, we came back and we compared sort of experiences, what we came across all together. So instead of a couple hours, whenever you normally go for a ghost walk, right, you're out there for a couple hours, we did a long night. And I mean a long night.
Yeah, but it would be fun.
Yes, it was. It was fun. But we got you guys to work actually on your spiritual mediumship. Got you guys introduced to tools, paranormal tools. Again, though, this location though is 2 hours away from downtown Toronto. I'm gonna get Gypsy Lady Eva to go to claims. If she can go to that little footnote right where claims are. And
my machine blinked and I somehow wound up back with you.
Okay.
And hang on.
Well, it could be the energy to do the Cobourg Jail coming through.
I can't get something happened.
All right.
Hang on.
Well, the Cobourg Jail loves
there we go.
fresh meat. So that's what if you've never been to a location, fresh meat was there.
Well, the claims for the operation, it's kind of interesting because, like many other similar sites, there's lots of things that people report on, from the sounds of yells, from the mentally ill portion of the jail to the apparition of a little girl sitting at a desk in one of the rooms. You get the feeling of being stared at, and many people feel somebody has touched them, usually on the shoulder. Books are moved and opened, and many of the guests write in their entries of the hotel, they write what had happened at night. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But it's like, for all the trauma that went on in this place, as well as other places that I've been to, like for the mentally ill people, and you think of all the stress and all the heightened emotions that went along with this. Yeah, they're going to leave some kind of mark, and you're going to experience it.
Yeah. One thing I didn't mention though, right when we did work with the people from overseas over in England, they did come. It was we were doing an energy circle, and what had happened though is we're downstairs right where the waiting rooms were for the bar, like for the jail cells. So there was technically 2 jail cells there within the waiting area. And what had happened though is right when we were doing energy circles, one lady though, she was pushed backwards, so her back actually hit the door of the jail cell. She turned around and claimed, though, that she felt like she was being pulled into it. So what Trevor was doing, though, is he had a trigger object. Now, for those that don't know what trigger objects are, it's something to do with that time period. So Trevor originally had an original lock from the jail with also a key. Now, the group he actually had within that area, they did experience quite a bit of stuff going actually on. Too bad he wasn't actually on the show right now. He would be able to explain what his group has come across. But we did have an IR camera within that area. There's no audio, but you can sort of see what goes on. And that's one thing, though, is with IR cameras, night vision cameras, some of them do have sound, some of them don't. You can be able to go back and watch and see what you did get within certain areas. So, good question, though, is for you guys. I'm going to draw us to Gypsy Lady Eva. Would you spend a night actually in this location?
Hell yeah.
So,
the jail doesn't scare me as much as the mental institutions. So it's just, wow.
Yes.
I know that it did say there were mentally cells for the mentally ill to begin with. One wonders what was done there.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I think a jail would be more interesting. I think there would be, because there were children and women in there.
Yes.
Just to see what was going on. And I would sure as heck make sure I have a lot of holy water with me. And I'd bathe in that stuff. So, you're not going to get me.
Yeah.
My guides are laughing.
It's like, gosh, I hear them. So, but yes, so that was taking a look actually at the former jail in Cobourg, which is the King George Inn Hotel. Again, those we no longer do the workshop there because the hotel was resold again. The original owners, though, that did take over, they were good friends of ours. So we have not been back at all to this location. But again, those if you guys are traveling through Ontario, going from Toronto to Kingston, make sure that you do stop off in Cobourg and spend a night at the Cobourg Jail.
And don't forget the holy water.
Yes. So our next show will be on Wednesday at 2 p.m. And then our recorded show, instead of it being live, our recorded show will be on next Saturday. And we do have a special guest actually coming onto the show. And this guest is a former worker of a hotel. She used to work at this hotel right when the hotel was operational. Gypsy Lady Eva and myself, we personally know her. She also does her YouTube show Sunday night at 9:00. So tune in for next Wednesday and Saturday for our shows while we deal with haunted locations. So we do say
yes, it'll be great.
Yeah. So we do say thanks a lot for tuning in and pay attention to more haunted locations throughout North America.
And thank you for your time. It is deeply appreciated.